Hello, I'm Omar from Zavala Woodworks, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an epoxy US flag just using wood, epoxy, and stencil. So stay tuned, check it out. So first thing I did was I cut out the plywood that we're going to be using. In this particular flag, we're going to be doing a 9 1/4 height by 17 1/2 long. So after I milled them, squared them to size, I sanded them with 120 grit paper. Just to kind of like round out the edges a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, just it has to be a little smoother than your normal plywood. So I try to do a black base coat only because we're gonna be pouring different color pigment on it, epoxy, so I want it to, at least if there's no covered areas, at least for it to be black. So I just went to Walmart and bought some Rust-Oleum flat black. So that's what we're gonna do. So after you think you covered all the area, before it drying, I end up taking it to where I normally do my epoxy projects, which is this big dome per se, and I leave it here so that it finishes drying, and then before I start doing the pour. So this is also my part of the pour area that I have here. These are all the black diamond pigments that I have, and this is the super clear that I use. For today we're going to be using the tabletop. So here's the second one. This is the maple. We're just going to do a couple passes. So this is the product that I use. It's the super clear tabletop epoxy. I've been using this product for a super long time, and I really recommend it for anybody that's going to be trying doing this project. And this is a 1:1 ratio, so super simple to use. Also, the product that I'm going to be using, these are the black diamond pigments that we're going to be using. I'm going to be using the black onyx, the matte green, the olive yellow, and the mahogany. So these are pretty cool colors. I'm trying to replicate a camo effect. So these are the colors, or these are the pigments that I thought would really resemble that camo look. Once you make sure that it starts to become more clearer and clearer, that's when you know it's about to be done mixing. You can see the consistency is like more visible and less cloudy, and that's when you know it's pretty much ready. So once it's done, stir it a little bit more just in case. Make sure you squeeze everything out of the container. Alright, now it's colors. So we're gonna do black onyx, which is that one. A little bit. This is a matte green. Mahogany. Olive yellow. So we're ready for pour. Make sure you are in a well-ventilated area. We're going to start with green first. And just make sure you mix it again. So, alright. You can do, if you want to do dots, you can do dots. You can run it like this, abstract. You can even leave some left over so that if you want to get more creative, you can. We're going to do the mahogany. Oh, no. Since this is dots, I'm going to continue the dots. And it doesn't matter if you spill some there, just as long as it's. I'm going to continue the. I think this one's done. And you can leave it on the side so it drains out. And then we're gonna do the olive yellow. Make sure you have all the pigment in there. Mix it really well. There you go. That. Put in all the rest of the. Right there. And here comes the black onyx. mixing it. So let's leave it up here. Alright. Stay. Okay. So now's the fun part. Just gonna go under one hand. Alright. And just and you can be more careful on this with how you do it. I'm just really not patient with it because the epoxy does tend to get harder. I mean, there's ways that you can heat up the epoxy so that you kind of warm it up so it's more liquidy. But it's up to you guys. If you guys want to do it, you guys can. I don't like doing it normally. Sometimes I like doing it. Sometimes I don't. Just depends on what I'm doing. If I really want to extend the time, then I do it. But if I don't, then I don't need to. So here we're just gonna on this one we're just gonna, or I'm just going to go back and forth on it. And also you can even grab the and just kind of rock it down, or flip it up, or flip it down. You can. If you have that time, you can. Just going to kind of blend it here a little. So it just creates like this abstract trait, per se. I think I'm happy with it now. That one too. Just make sure you go over with your hand, cover all the, has little blemishes here and there. It creates like little pimples. So, see that? I'm gonna come back and run the torch on it so that it pops all the pimples that it has to create. So I use this burn-somatic propane tank to pop all the bottles, the bubbles. And there you have it. That's the background for your US flag. Now you can use this background for any type of flag. You can do a state flag, you can do the US flag, you can do whatever you guys end up wanting to do. In my purposes, I'm going to be using it for a flag. We're going to leave this here overnight, and tomorrow in the afternoon we'll be working on it. it's been 24 hours since I poured the flags last night. Here we have the flags. See the reflection. There's like little to no imperfections in it. So there you have it. Those are the flags. I'm going to sand them to 220 just to take off any blemishes that it has or any bugs, which I didn't see any bugs, but sometimes when you create flags like these, epoxy flags, bugs love this stuff, so they just go in and they just stay stuck. Alright guys, so this next step is a little complicated, okay? So after we got our decal or vinyl done, then it's time to place it on the actual flag. So here I already made one. It's pretty much completely up to you. I sometimes just do them as I go and take off the transfer paper and place it very carefully onto the flag itself, or sometimes I use, it's called like, you can use parchment paper or froze like freeze paper and then just transfer it like that. But like I said, it's completely up to you. If you guys want to, whichever way, it's all good. The vinyl is the peelable one, so it's not the permanent one, it's the actual, it's the reusable one. So that way it doesn't have as much glue on it, so it doesn't stay stuck forever. You're easily able to paint over it or do whatever you need to do with it, and then after it dries, then you peel it off. But yeah, let's get to it. Scrap paper and just sand it off. Any blemishes that it might have, scuff it off, just so that you have a nice clean area. And just by hand, you don't have to use the actual sander, just like that. And to clean it, all you have to get is alcohol from 91 to 9%. Spray it a couple times and just wipe it off. Wipe off all the excess green that it has. And that's it. Now you're set. So there you have it. The two flags are completely done, or actually with vinyl. So now I'm gonna start doing the painting. We're about ready to do the ghost effect. I'm gonna be using the Krylon white gloss, the ultimate coverage. So the key is to spray at kind of like at a far. Alright, so here it is. Here's our paint. So we're just gonna brush it on, or actually spray it on. That's macro. So I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll peel off all the vinyl. You have crisp, stars, using vinyl. So if you're thinking about your project being super clean, use vinyl. But if not, then just use a stencil and do 10 of them at a time. So another tip is to use alcohol, the one that I used previously. Use alcohol on a shop towel and just kind of clean off any excess debris that the flag has. Don't worry, it's not going to damage the paint. It's just going to clean off whatever excess debris it has. Whether you're working outside or you're working inside your garage, just make sure that it's lint free, because once you pour your, see, like right there, there's residue of the glue. So, but if I wouldn't clean it, then I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have known. And then like once I pour the epoxy flood coat, then it doesn't. Then you'll notice that on it, and that would have been another headache. So just make sure clean your area before you do a flood coat. That way I'm able to clean it off right now. That way when I do the flood coat, it's nice and crisp and clear. Also, another tip is that when you're using the alcohol with the shop towel, don't press on it too much. Pressing on it too much will cause the paint to peel off completely, or the stars to peel off completely, and in reality you really don't want for that to happen. So just slightly wipe it so that you just wipe off the surface gunk that it has. And there you have it. 2 nice and crisp lines ready to get flood coated. Super clear, of course. So if this is your first time doing a flood coat, just take note of the things that you need. You need a mask for protection for your lungs. You need eye glasses. If you don't have glasses, protect your eyes. You need gloves. You need all your utensils, or if you're gonna use utensils, if you're gonna use cups, have them in hand. You need a torch to pop the bubbles. With that said, let's get started. So I made enough for the 2 flags. So here we go. Make sure that you cover, for the most part, everything. Make sure you cover the edges of it as well, like that, and then to the next one. Make sure you kind of like overflow it so that when it sets evenly and not with gaps and stuff like that. I really like leave a little bit, but right now not too much. Only so that if I'm needing spots to fill, I'm able to fill it with the little residue that I still have. So after this, you can either use a scraper, you can use a card, same way that we did the background. It's the same process. So I normally just use my hand because it's just more versatile. I'm able to do an even, and I can actually feel the epoxy. So I normally try to do the edges, if that's what you want. To decover it also, you can. I just like the way it looks when the edges are also covered with epoxy. It gives that like nice and seamless look onto the flag. Now, I've seen people, they put painter's tape on the sides, and that way whenever it drips, it doesn't drip to the side, and they're able to take off the tape after the pour, after it's cured, and they're able to paint and think like they paint it and then they leave it black. So I mean, I guess just depending on what you want for your flag to look like, that you can do that. But just do the flow, so it just flows out, and just like that, pretty much. That's one flag. Let's do the second one.
house, just as long as it's well ventilated. There's fans and all kinds of things in it, so that the epoxy doesn't get super hot. I do my epoxy pours in my garage because I just don't like the toxins that it releases to be inside, and well, everybody's reading it, and I just don't like that part of it. I've tried it before on bigger projects, but I just don't like that it's really penetrating, I guess you could say, and I just don't like it. So I'm gonna be just making sure all the edges are nicely sealed, and after that the epoxy will do its thing. It'll drip down on its own. You won't have to have any other issues with it besides bugs. So I can see one right there. Kill it already. Kill it with some bugs. So let's take it off now, and then I'm gonna get the torch and just torch them out. There you have it. Nice, seamless flags with super clear. Check out that reflection. It's super clean, super clear, flawless. There it is. Now tomorrow, we wait overnight for it to cure. Tomorrow we'll see how it went. So if you guys have time after you pour it, just make sure that there's no debris. Watch it for at least 20-30 minutes just to make sure that there's no bugs going in or anything like that, because once it sets, like I told you, once it sets and there's no turning back. So yes, so it's the next morning and the flags are out. It's about 10 in the morning. So let's check them out. They came out perfect. No bugs, no dust, no nothing. They're flawless. No issues. Dry, secure. Yeah, just by using two products, Super Clear and Black Diamond Pigments. But wait, let me turn on the light so you can really appreciate it. Check that out. And voila, they look similar to the sample flags that I made. So this concludes my demonstration on how to create an epoxy US flag. Hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more how-tos. Follow me on Instagram, Zavala Woodworks, and tag me on what you create. See you next time.